My name is Salima Virani and I'm a professional henna artist with over 15 years of experience. And I'm so happy to be here today and share my expertise with you all. And thanks to Farin for being my model. So let's get started. I'm going to do a jewelry style henna today. So I'm going to start from the wrist. I'm going to draw a swirl first, starting from the wrist. And I'm going to draw some humps around it. Make sure all the humps are same size. This look pretty. Okay. So the next step is I'm going to draw a few dots. So I have drawn eight of them around this flower. So the next step is I'm going to draw a bumpy line and cover these dots. Next step is I'm going to do one more line. When you do henna, make sure you go very slow to get the neatness. Now I'm going to draw some leaves between each dot. So the way to draw a leaf is you draw a small line, squeeze a lot of mehndi and drag it to create a tail. This jewelry style henna is perfect when you don't want to draw strip, and it looks very elegant as well. So the next step is I'm going to draw V around this leaf shape, and I'm going to draw two of them. Make sure mehndi is very thin because this is very intricate design. So next step is I'm going to draw a flower between those two leaves. So I'm going to draw a swirl first, cover it with a line and then tiny humps. Draw a line, squeeze a lot of mehndi and drag it. And I'm going to draw two curves, one on this side, one on the other side, and I'm going to draw a few dots. So normally when you do henna, you leave it on for a few hours and scrape it off and make sure you don't touch water, and you get a nice beautiful stain next day.
So as soon as it dries, you can just scrape it off. You don't have to keep it on overnight and...
3-4 hours is fine. I'm going to draw some leaf there as well. Okay, I'm going to create a V shape, like a leaf shape. Make sure when you do leaf shape, you keep some white space here because that's going to stand out in our design. I'm going to make this line thicker. And now I'm going to draw some humps around it. So next step is I'm going to draw a bigger leaf now. So when I draw bigger leaf, I'm going to make sure I cover the side of her hand. So I'm going to just mark first if my shape is okay, and then do the final with Mehndi. So I'm happy with this shape, and now I'm going to go thicker with the Mehndi.
And how do you store the Mehndi?
So Mehndi paste dies if within a week. So basically you have to freeze it, so then you can use it for 6 months. So you mix henna powder with some essential oils, leave it for a few hours, and make a paste. Put it in the cone, and it's all ready to use. So I always make fresh cones for my event, but any leftover I leave it in the freezer.
You can really smell those essential oils.
Yes, I use eucalyptus oil. It's quite therapeutic. So I'm going to do flowers and some dots, and I'm going to fill all the space, empty space, with this design. I started doing henna when I was very little. Like I was not little. I was I think 12 years old. My dad's side of family had salon business, and then I always had cones readily available, and so I kept practicing on my mom, my sister, and that's how I got into henna.
So where are you from?
From India, Mumbai. Last one. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so I've covered the whole hand, not the whole pattern with this design. I'm going to make this line thicker, so maybe you can go over 2-3 times, make it look very thick.
Who did your bridal Mehndi?
One of my cousin Bhabhi. So I had trained her she was learning from me, and then she goes to me like, whenever you get married, I'm going to do your mehndi. And then she did my mehndi, and she did a really good job. So I've done professional training from Ash Kumar, and then luckily I got chance to get mehndi done by him a couple of times, and I was super happy. So I follow him, and he inspires me a lot. And to get mehndi done from him was so amazing. I cannot forget that. Next, I'm drawing some thick dots to finish the look. And I'm leaving this part because I'm going to draw some leaves. Okay, so now fingers. I'm going to leave some gap there and draw 5 lines like that. And I'm going to fill the second and the third line with mehndi. Next, I'm going to draw some humps here and draw 2 swirls. Draw a few dots just so it looks like a flower, and then I'm going to draw this leaf.
Mehndi designs are really evolving at the moment because you can see couples, the bride getting the bridegroom
Oh yes.
in the mehndi.
Yes. So nowadays they like to personalize their mehndi. So they try to draw figures, they try to draw the place where they proposed. It's really, I have also got requests to draw their pet dog sometimes. So it's very exciting. Yeah, so the last bride I did was in August, and she wanted loads and loads of peacocks, different styles of peacocks. So it was nice, yeah. And I love it because every time you go to you meet a different bride, and she requests something different. You get to know her. I really love my profession. So I'm going to continue the same design on all the fingers. So this mehndi is not too much, not too little, good enough for Kushali. So I'm going to sprinkle some glitter. And I'm also going to add so you never add glitter on the mehndi when it's wet. You only add when it's dry, otherwise it will affect your stain. All good.
Wow, that is so beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So this is the breakdown of the flower that I did on foreign. So you start with a swirl, draw some humps around it, draw a few dots, and then you cover it with a circle. Then draw leaves around like that, Cover it with the two V's, and then between those two leaves you can draw a flower, and then it should look something like this. So my second design is a simple strip design. When someone doesn't want too much of mehndi, just nice little design, then this design is perfect. So I'm going to show you how to draw a simple strip design with using only two different style of flowers. So let's begin. So my first flower, I'm going to start from the wrist, draw a swirl, and some humps around it. Next step is drawing petals. I'm going to draw 4 petals in all 4 different directions. I'm going to now draw 4 more petals between them. So altogether there will be 8. Make sure they're all more or less same height and same size.
That's a good idea of doing north, south, east and west, and then doing in between.
Yes. I can leave this flower as it is, but to make it look more fuller, I'm going to add petals in between as well. So I'm just going to draw little tiny petals from behind, like that, like a V shape. So your design looks more intricate and the flower looks more fuller. So this is one flower done. Now start with a swirl and then tiny humps. I'm going to divide this in 5 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay. Now draw a line as big as you want the flower to be. So as you can see, I'm running out of space, but doesn't matter, just continue drawing. Now I'm going to draw a heart kind of shape, so like that. And I'm just going to pretend that this is going behind that flower. And my second flower is ready. So I'm going to draw my third flower, which is the same flower which I've drawn here. So a swirl and some humps around it. Now the base of our design is done. That's it. I will show you how you can just add some of the accessories and make this design look pretty. So accessories means some swirls, some leaves, some teeny mini flowers and some dots, and then you can make it look pretty. So I'm going to now draw some accessories starting with the leaves. I normally try to draw leaves with a set of 2. Doesn't have to be equal. So I'm going to draw one set there, another one here, and I can draw one here as well. I'm not filling anything right now. I'm going to wait until it's dry. Now I'm going to draw some teeny mini flowers, which is like small tiny flowers, but in a set of 3. So you make like a cluster of 3 flowers. Next I'm going to draw some swirls. And I'm going to draw some vines. So give it a curve, and then you can draw your. This is a shape of a teardrop. This design is so quick and easy to do. All you have to master is a couple of flowers, and that's all. I'm going to draw wine on one of the curves and some dots on the second curve. So this is a teardrop shape following the line. And I'm going to draw some dots there. Make sure dots are all same size. And then when you come towards the end, just make it like it's disappearing. Now I'm going to draw few leaves first. There, probably, it's, you just walk around where you want it. There's no set formula or rules. So as you can see, just with 3 flowers and some accessories, you've already created a strip design. Now time to fill the flower. So let's do shading. Okay, so when you do shading, give a very light pressure to the henna cone and start from bottom going towards upwards and draw very thin lines next to each other, covering more or less the whole at least three-fourth of the petals. So I'm drawing very thin design, very thin lines. So it gives a nice realistic look. Keep the pressure very light. Now next I'm going to do this border thicker so it stands out. Just the top part of the petals. Okay. Now next flower, similar way, just do shading. A lot of people ask me that if you go so light with the shading, do the color comes? Yes, the answer is yes. You'll still get the stain, but the stain will fade away very quickly, maybe in 2-3 days. Whereas the rest of the flower would be okay for a week or 10 days. But on the day of your event, it's going to look very nice because you'll have like nice orangey color, and the border will be like nice dark maroon. So double effect. Next is leaf. I'm going to draw a line and draw some slanting lines. And then make this line thicker again. So our design is more or less complete. I'm just, whenever there's some gap in between these flowers, I'm just filling it with some swirls so it doesn't look too empty. So I'm going to draw some swirls here. That was the gap that was bothering me. But yes, but now what I'm going to do is, this vines that I've done, I'm going to add a lot of mehndi and make it thicker. You can also draw dots like this. So I'm going to draw a curve. I'm going to do the same thing with this one, just make it thicker. And now my favorite part is add glitter. You always do glitter when it's dry. Yes. Lovely. All done.
Lovely, thank you so much.
No problem. My pleasure.